Sorry, next witness, please.
Your Honor, please, we have recalled Detective Larry Horzepa. May I continue? Detective Horzepa, again, for the record, so we have a concise picture who's testifying. You again state your name.
Lawrence Horzepa.
And you, sir, are still under oath from the previous time you were sworn last week. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did you have occasion to participate, I think it was Channel 2 news station, the editing of the original audio videotape of Ms. Wuornos' statements?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall how long the original tapes were?
A little over 3 hours.
Did you have occasion to participate in editing the 3+ hours of tapes down to a tape dealing only with matters concerning the homicide of Mr. Richard Malley?
Yes, sir.
And did you also exclude from that editing even generic references that may have applied to Mallory, but because they were generic, they were eliminated?
Yes, sir.
I would ask you to look at what is now State's Exhibit 6xU and ask if that appears to be the tape which you participated in editing of.
Yes, sir.
And does that tape truly and accurately depict your conversations with yours and in instances two other parties, conversations with or statements to Ms. Wuornos at the time the statement was taken on what, January 16th?
Yes, sir.
1991?
That's correct.
If Your Honor, please, we would offer into evidence for viewing by the jury the edited and limited version of the conversations with Ms. Wuornos only as they relate specifically to the victim, Richard Malley.
Renewing our previous objections, Your Honor.
Right. Subject to the objections record, go down and be received and marked in evidence. Mr. Tanner, after this is marked in evidence, let me ask some of the TV people. Isn't there a plug on these things that you can flick out to make it where you can't re-record?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Tanner, would you knock out? Maybe get one of them and let them do it, but they know where it is.
Do we have our
I'd have to have my grandson. I learned during the recess we had that we're celebrating a birthday today, and I would like to honor Ms. Clara Metz on her birthday. No prejudice, anyone from 6'9" or...
Your Honor, prior to play, may I ask another question or two? This is now marked Exhibit number 121.
Yes, sir.
Detective Horzepa, 3 adult males appear in this tape at the time the statement was taken. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the jury, please, who the 3 men are that appear in the tape?
Yes, sir. Myself, I'm sitting behind the desk. Mr. O'Neill, when you're looking at the viewer, will be directly to my left, and then Investigator Munster will be sitting the closest to the actual screen where he is. I believe most of his back is facing toward the video.
All right, who was Mr. O'Neill?
Mr. O'Neill was the public defender.
Okay. And did he have facial hair?
Yes, sir. He has a distinct accent when he speaks.
I'm asking, does he have a beard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's also a woman in the tape. Who is that?
That's Ms. Wuornos.
And does this tape deal only with the conversations and the statements of Ms. Wuornos after her attorney was present?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, please, we'd ask that the state be allowed to publish the tape and play it in the jury's presence.
Subject to the objections, you may proceed.
And may the witness be allowed to retire from witness stand?
Yes, indeed.
Judge, we may have some cross-examination,
Sure.
some limited to what Mr. Tanner just raised.
Sir, do you want to do it now?
We could.
Go ahead.
Watch the tape, whatever.
Go ahead.
John, whatever you want.
Might as well do it now.
Might as well do it now.
Right.
Detective Horzepa, you indicated to Mr. Tanner that this tape is a tape of your interaction with Ms. Wuornos after the attorney showed up.
That's correct.
You were involved in looking at the original tape and taking this information and putting it in the shorter tape, correct?
That's correct.
And you did that yourself
Yes, sir, with the assistance of Channel 2.
with the assistance of Channel 2. And is it fair to say that this tape relates what you understood to be specific statements relating to Mr. Mallory?
Yes, sir.
I think Mr. Tanner asked you what you characterized yesterday as generic statements are not included in this tape.
No, sir.
All of those things that we were talking about would not be reflected by this tape that you and I were talking about.
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Nothing further. Thank you, Detective.
All right, you may have, sir.
And for the record, Your Honor, the synopses that we talked about with the detective yesterday, he was kind enough to bring us a copy this morning. Thank you.
Again, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
And
tape.
Correct.
Your Honor, may the witness step down from the witness stand first to start. Deputy Horzepa, I'm going to ask you about distances. I don't know, do you are prepared to testify at this time about distances between the Daytona Beach area and the various scenes depicted on the chart?
I have that in my notes if I would be able to use those.
Yes, sir, you certainly may.
Your Honor, we have our continuing objection with regard to this area of inquiry. We also have a more specific objection in terms of, obviously, Mr. Tanner is now going into a new area, not into the subject matter we just heard, but we would also object in that regard.
You should have tied up Mr. Tanner.
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
You wanted to tie these things together.
Yes, sir.
May I proceed?
Deputy Horzepa, were you able to determine the distance from Daytona Beach, the Daytona Beach area, and I'll ask you where that measurement will begin, to the various scenes at which the 7 automobiles and 6 dead bodies were found?
Yes, sir.
Could we just begin with number 1, and if you would state first the distance from the Daytona Beach area to the body of Richard Mallory, and the distance from the Daytona Beach area to his automobile, and then continue down the list until you've completed all 7.
All right, sir. I used a focal point with Daytona Beach from US 1 Highway 92, relatively the center of Daytona. I started off with number 1, where we found the body of Mr. Mallory, and that was approximately 11 miles from Daytona Beach. Number 1A, which was his vehicle, was approximately 12 miles from the area of Daytona Beach. Number 2, which would have been Mr. Spears, on his body, we found it to be approximately 112 miles from Daytona Beach. And from there to there. The truck of Mr. Spears, which is shown here as number 2A, that was approximately 41 miles from 2A to Daytona Beach. Number 3, which was Mr. Karskadon, his body was approximately here to Daytona was 94 miles. The vehicle, shown here as number 3A, from there to the Daytona Beach area was approximately 66 miles.
66?
Yes, sir, 66 miles. Mr. Sims, his body has not been located, but his vehicle, which shows here as number 4A, was approximately 57 miles from Daytona. The next one would have been Mr. Burris, shows as number 5. His body was located approximately 68 miles from Daytona Beach. His vehicle, number 5A, was found approximately 56 miles from Daytona. I'd like to go back in reference to Mr. Burris on the body.
Yes.
Did I say 64 miles?
It's 68, I believe.
I'm sorry. Mr. Burris was 64 miles approximately. We then go on to Mr. Humphreys, which is shown as number 6. Mr. Humphreys' body is located approximately 68 miles from Daytona Beach. Mr. Humphreys' vehicle, shown as number 6A, that's approximately 170 miles from Daytona. Mr. Antonio, shown as for his body location of number 7, shown as approximately 147 miles from Daytona Beach. And his vehicle shows as number 7A. That vehicle was found approximately 39 miles from Daytona Beach.
Thank you, David. Your Honor, we would also like exhibit 6 times V. To the witness, do you recognize the item?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the jury, please, what it is?
That's an electric shaver.
And how is it connected with the Mallory homicide?
This particular razor I picked up from the gentleman who owned the Yugoslavian restaurant just down from the Fairview Motel, just north of the Fairview Motel. This gentleman gave me this razor, said it had been given to him.
Objection here, sir, Your Honor.
Without going into hearsay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize, Judge. Without going into hearsay, did you discuss that razor with the defendant, Aileen Wuornos?
Yes, sir.
And what did she say with regard to that razor?
It belonged to Mr. Mallory.
We'd offer the razor in evidence, Your Honor.
May I have what year on that issue, Your Honor? Detective Ms. Wuornos said an electric razor belonged to Mr. Mallory, right? When you talked to her?
I'd have to find the exact page, sir.
You did not show her the razor that's in your hands, did you?
No, sir.
You did not show her a photograph of that razor, did you?
No, sir.
Your Honor, we would object on predicate grounds, but present no argument.
May I expand the predicate, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Did you ask her if she gave it to the individual from whom you obtained it?
Yes, sir.
Did she verify that that's who she gave it to?
Yes, sir.
We offer the razor, Your Honor.
No further argument, Your Honor.
Right. Objection, overruled, that item be proceeded.
Your Honor, we have no further questions. We witness.
You may inquire, sir. Yes.
Detective, during your involvement in this case, you uncovered information as to where Ms. Moore and Ms. Wuornos resided during the time period you were investigating, correct?
Yes, sir.
Came across information that they had resided in Zephyr Hills. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
If you had clocked and charted all these miles using Zephyr Hills instead of Daytona Beach as your reference point, the distances you described to Mr. Tanner would be different, right?
Yes, sir.
You said use Zephyr Hills and then tell me about where cars were located starting with Zephyr Hills, you'd have different distances.
That's correct.
Did you do that? Can you tell us the distances from Zephyr Hills?
No, I can't.
You also came across information that Ms. Wuornos and Ms. Moore resided in Homosassa Springs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you do these charts and mileage and all this kind of stuff as to where cars were and all of that using Homosassa Springs as the reference point?
No, sir.
If I were to ask you if you were to use Homosassa Springs as the reference point and to tell me the mileage to where cars were found, for example, could you do that today?
No, sir.
They also lived in Rutland, correct? You came across information in that regard.
I'm sorry.
You came across information that they also lived in Rutland.
I don't recall.
How about Oleander?
Yes, sir.
And again, with regard to using Oleander as a reference point, did you chart out miles and all of that to cars using Oleander as a reference point?
No, sir.
If I were to ask you mileage from Oleander to where cars were found and things along those lines, you would not be able to tell me, correct?
No, sir.
If I may have a moment, please?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you, Detective.
May the witness be excused.
Your Honor, may I ask a question too long?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you, Joe. Did you determine between talking with Ms. Wuornos, between December of 1989, the time when she killed Mr. Mallory, and November of 1990, when she killed Mr. Antonio, were her usual abode, what area she usually lived in during that period of time?
Harbor Oaks area.
And that is in relation to the Daytona Beach area, and how far?
Just slightly south. It's Volusia County, just south end of Daytona.
Okay, it's really the south end of the Daytona Beach limit.
Yes, sir.
So during that year, she lived in the Daytona Beach area.
Yes, sir.
Did she indicate to you that was her primary base of operation?
Objection, Your Honor. Base of operation, Judge.
Is that where she usually began hitchhiking from as she began these forays out on the interstate?
Yes, sir.
No further question.
Detective, you're telling us that Ms. Wuornos, during your interaction with you, told you where she began hitchhiking from?
Not during our conversation in the branch jail, no.
In any conversation with her, did she tell you, did you ask her and did she tell you this is where I started hitchhiking from, or anything along the lines of what Mr. Tanner asked you?
No, sir.
When you told Mr. Tanner that you had this information, what was the source of it?
From Miss Moore.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
And who did she live with for the last 4.5 years before she was arrested?
Ty Moore lived with Miss Wuornos.
Thank you. No further question. Your Honor, please, the state rests subject to the right, as stipulated by counsel, to reopen if necessary after we go through the entry and rejection problem.
Yes, Your Honor, there are, just as a follow-up to Mr. Tanner's statement, there are certain motions that we'd like to make in Mr. Tanner's announcement. It would be preferable, however, for Your Honor to proceed at this point, allowing us to do that shortly hereafter.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's necessary that I meet with counsel to state that to hear some arguments on the law that are not heard by the jury. Accordingly, if you're going to take the early liberty to go along today, you will have no further responsibility in what these things will take to be the major part of the afternoon to dispose of these matters that must be heard outside of your hearing. I remind you again, if anyone should converse with you or to discuss this case with you, you're notified the court stop directly will be immediately initiated. You're not during the time of this or any recess to view the scene where any alleged offense may have occurred. You will not listen to any newspaper accounts, listen to getting radio above and broadcast that during the trial. You're not to discuss the case among yourselves with any other person, and you will not form or express an opinion on this matter until it's submitted to you for your verdict. With those instructions, the jury is in recess till 9:30 tomorrow morning.